Hey, I got you covered with your Pokemon news for the day, so let's get into it. We have a bunch of new items including decks, Charizard Collector's Chest, first look at the upcoming Ancient and Future EX boxes, and as usual to save you guys time, I'll have timestamps down below, so if you want to forward into the video to get to the items you're here for, go for it, but it does hurt me in the algorithm, so hit that like button, please. Let's kick things off with the new Miraidon EX League Battle Deck. This is now going to be a new level 3 deck that you can buy that is really great if you want to buy a Pokemon card deck and just start playing the game at a somewhat competitive level. You can buy a box like this and just play the straight 60 and you're gonna actually have a pretty decent time. The most recent level 3 League Battle deck that came out was this Palkia V-Star one, which combined with the likes of the Shenpao League Battle deck or just Shenpaos in general. Although people are buying just the Shenpao League Battle deck to get the Shenpaos because finding Shenpaos are so hard to find these days. These level 3 decks are amazing. I should really open this up. Oh my gosh. Oh crap. But yeah, if you're new to the channel and didn't know, Miraidon is my favorite deck to play, at least over the last couple of months, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm cooking it up for Pittsburgh Regionals. I'll be there playing my version of Miraidon, a spicy version. But if you want to hop on the Miraidon bandwagon, it is going to be releasing on November 17th for $30 US, probably 35 Canadian, something like that. Now, I think it's awesome that they're releasing more of these special like level 3 League Battle decks. However, the downside to decks like these is they're really easy to buy and build without actually buying the decks themselves. Like, this is a prepackaged product and you're paying a premium for the convenience of all these cards being bundled together. If you were to piece out all the cards in this deck, it's likely not going to total that $30 US price that they are selling it at brand new. Miraidon from Scarlet and Violet base set is not hard to find, and the Miraidons that they include in this deck are just straight reprints from the Scarlet and Violet base set. This deck does feature Regieleki VMAX on the other hand, and Regieleki VMAX, let me tell you something. When Scarlet and Violet came out, Regieleki and Miraidon were a really popular build, so much so that Regieleki VMAXs went from a couple of dollars, like maybe $3 or $4 or $5, to like $20 to $25 for a couple of weeks right after the release of Scarlet and Violet. There was a high demand, but the supply just wasn't there. But yeah, the MSRP for this box is $30 US, and that was basically the price of 2 Regieleki VMAXs at its peak hype. So you can get this box for essentially a Black Friday sale if you want to compare it to that. Included in the Miraidon League Battle deck is of course the 60 card Miraidon and Regieleki VMAX deck. You're also going to get 6 damage counters, 1 coin to flip, 2 condition markers, a deck box that doesn't fit the second you put sleeves on your cards, which you absolutely should be doing, an accessories box apparently, that's kind of interesting, a strategy sheet which you're not allowed to have out when you play the game for obvious reasons, and a code card that will give you the 60 card deck in the online game if you want to practice with it that way. This is a very skippable product, so if I were to recommend to you another League Battle deck, I would honestly recommend the Palkia V-Star League Battle deck if you have those in stock in your area, or the Mew VMAX League Battle deck, because hey, Mew VMAX just won Worlds and it's a starter deck, right? It's kind of crazy. I think they're gonna do more cool League Battle decks like this in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if they make like a Arceus V-Star League Battle deck in the future, or a Giratina V-Star one. I think those would make a lot of sense. In other sad and depressing news, it is over. The Pokemon anime is over, or the Pokemon cartoon, I should say. The Pokemon TCG cartoon, Path to the Peak. If you guys don't know, they actually released a 4-episode series of the Pokemon card game in cartoon action. Think of it as like Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it's Pokemon. If you have kids and want to watch it with your kid, or if you want to feel like a kid again, head over to the official Pokemon YouTube channel where you can watch all 4 episodes. Now, I've only seen the first and half of the second episode, so no spoilers. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's a great watch. Next up, we got some really big news for the competitive side of things out there, and the collectors too, but more so for the competitive players out there. We have 2 new Scarlet and Violet EX boxes. We have the one for Iron Valiant and Roaring Moon EX. So both of these boxes are expected to release on November 17th, the same day that the League Battle deck I showed you guys earlier is releasing, so it's one of those big stacked release days for November. And the retail prices for these boxes is $22 US. And of course, if you guys want to pre-order any Pokemon cards at all, or just shop Pokemon cards, check out my lovely friends over at mantatrading.com, and if you use code SneakerTalkTCG, you'll save 5% off in-store and online. I go there all the time, pretty much every Friday exclusively for Pokemon card tournaments, and I actually get to meet a lot of you guys there too, which is pretty cool. So Iron Valiant is basically the futuristic version of Gardevoir or Gallade, and included in this Iron Valiant box, of course, is Iron Valiant EX, which looks like it's going to be a really strong Psychic type Pokemon, and it's just going to fit perfectly into those pesky Gardevoir EX decks out there right now. Now, the other guaranteed card included in these boxes is going to be the Iron Moth basic Pokemon. This very well could be one of the go-to future Pokemon that we see in a lot of future style decks going forward into the future. Oh god, that was cringe. Probably one of the most important cards from this box, we have the Future Booster Energy Capsule. This is a new Pokemon tool card, which is going to unlock a lot of capabilities for these future decks. From the little teaser that we can see from this box image, it says the future Pokemon card ... something cost, and the attacks of it ... opponent's active Pokemon. So it's obviously going to have some effect on both yours and your opponent's potentially energy cost for their attacks. This is scary. So with tool cards like these eventually working their way into decks, I could see the stonks of Lost Vacuum going up very high. So if you want to get your gold Lost Vacuums, now's probably the time to do it. Those are the 3 cards inside of the Iron Valiant EX box that you're going to get. You're also going to get a jumbo version of the Iron Valiant EX along with 4 booster packs in total, which looks like it's going to be at least 2 of the new Paradox Rift booster packs, and 2 other packs, most likely either going to be the Scarlet and Violet base set, Paldea Evolved, and Obsidian Flames. My guess is going to be 1 Paldea Evolved, 1 Obsidian Flames, and then 2 Paradox Rift. As for the other Pokemon box releasing on November 17th, we have the Roaring Moon EX box. Once again, this box will have 4 booster packs in total, likely 2 Paradox Rift and then 2 other Scarlet and Violet packs. But most importantly, this will give you easy access to the cards like Roaring Moon EX. Roaring Moon EX looks like it's going to be a powerhouse of a Pokemon. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this becomes one of the best decks in the format, at least a tier 2. This card looks absolutely busted. It has 230 HP, which is a lot of HP. On top of that, it has an attack that costs 2 dark and 1 colorless, which instantly knocks out your opponent's Pokemon, which is disgusting. And then you have the other attack right there in case you don't want to use that first attack for the exact same energy cost. Featured in this box, you also get a copy of Brute Bonnet, which is another ancient Pokemon, which was revealed at Worlds. So here's a look at Brute Bonnet if you guys want to see the ability and effects and attack and all that kind of stuff of Brute Bonnet. It looks like it's pretty decent too. But the big reveal that a lot of people are hyped about from this box that we got today was the Ancient Energy Booster Capsule tool. So let's just take a deeper dive into the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule card. It is a Pokemon tool card which reads, the ancient Pokemon that this card is attached to gets plus 60 HP, recovers from all special conditions, and can't be affected by any special conditions. Being not affected by special conditions, that's pretty nice. Not being able to be paralyzed or confused or poisoned in some cases, but the major thing here is plus 60 HP to any ancient Pokemon. So that means your Roaring Moon EX goes from 230 HP to 290. It basically becomes a V-Star Pokemon at that point with 290 HP. Holy crap. And that 1-hit KO attack that Roaring Moon EX has, well, there's that small stipulation on it where it says if you knock out a Pokemon in that way, you take 200 damage, which puts you at a very weak 30 HP. But with the help of this tool, you still have 90 HP left, which means your opponent has to knock you out with something a little substantial in order to actually capitalize on you having low HP. I'm excited, man. I am so curious to see how Ancient and Future Pokemon are going to affect the competitive card game meta. And again, just to recap, both of the Ancient and Future EX boxes will be releasing on November 17 for $22 US. You guys already know, Pokemon said we couldn't go another week without more talking about Charizard. So here's some more Charizard news for you guys. We have the brand new Charizard Collector's Chest, aka the Fall Collector's Chest. It's not just a Charizard box, okay? Charizard's on the front, but there's actually no Charizard cards included. This is basically how Pokemon wants the interaction for you to go down. Oh wow, Charizard chest. Take my money. So this is the new Fall Collector's Chest for 2023. Pokemon releases a new Collector's Chest every single season. Most recently, they did one for the summer, and you guys have heard probably by now that those were cracked. Basically, the error with those chests is that a lot of people were getting like guaranteed ultra rare pulls are better out of their Silver Tempest packs. So something went down at the factory. Now I feel like they're gonna crack down on it for these chests. They're not gonna let that slip up happen again. For $30 US releasing on November 17th, you're gonna be getting 6 booster packs inside. There's also gonna be 3 holofoil copies of the Paldean starters. Now if history repeats itself, I don't expect these 3 holofoils of the starters to be special promo art, but they'll probably be holofoil versions of the previous arts that we've had already, but with a different kind of holo pattern. They've done this in the past so many other times. Cool Pokemon coin inside with a bunch of stickers, a little mini portfolio binder featuring Charizard on one side and the Paldean starters on the other, and a code card which will give you like the coin and stuff in the online game, which isn't all that exciting. And while we're on the topic of Charizard, I have some exciting Charizard news for my Pokemon collectors out there. I'm actually selling my Charizard Pokemon card collection. And I can say that with a smile because I'm actually excited for what I'm going to be using the money towards. Along with all the shekels I'll rake in from selling my Charizard collection, I'll also be listing a bunch of other Pokemon cards on my eBay store. I have a couple $1,000s worth of Pokemon cards right here I'll be listing on eBay, so you guys can follow me on eBay. That's like an actual thing, and you can add me to your like favorite sellers to see when I get new items. And I'm selling my Charizard collection because I want a nice big bump in my my Worlds budget for the 2024 grind. My major personal goal right now, besides hitting 100,000 subscribers on this channel, is to qualify for Worlds 2024. And I feel like by selling a bunch of my Pokemon cards, it's gonna really help me. Traveling for a lot of these regionals and stuff like that is expensive. It really adds up. So if you want to cheer for your homie, your boy, basically sponsor his trip and also get really good Pokemon cards at the best possible prices, I always undercut all the sellers on eBay. Then you can, you know, support your boy on eBay. And speaking of the 2024 World Championships, Pokemon just announced the other day that they're increasing the prizing for cash prizing and more for all upcoming regional, international events, and world championships. It's a really, really big deal. A lot of people in the Pokemon community are talking about it. So if you've been a collector for a while and are thinking about playing the Pokemon card game, or are, you know, playing a little bit but maybe want to take it a little bit more seriously, now is the best time to start playing Pokemon. The cash prizing for events basically doubled and tripled, and they even made it so if you get like top 32 at a regional event, you get $1,000 US. There's a lot to play for. Going to Worlds doesn't have to be your only goal. Just placing really well at these events can net you a lot of fun and a lot of money potentially if you perform really well. If you guys want to see my North American International Championship vlog from this year, click on screen to watch it over here. And if you guys want to see how my solo adventures went in Japan, you guys can click over on here. I always appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.